Patrick Troughton solidified the future of Doctor Who. Today, I'll be outlining my 6 favourite Second Doctor stories. We start our countdown with a serial that was recovered not long ago. The Doctor finds his doppelganger in Salamander, a man who promises to solve world hunger, but his intentions are slightly less pure. When this story in the Web of Fear returned in 2013, this story was the one I was least excited about. Of course I was glad, but in comparison to the fame that followed the Web of Fear, this seemed a less exciting serial. How wrong I was. It had such ambition, trying to pull off an Australian setting whilst filming in West Sussex. It's a brilliant example of Doctor Who doing great world building. You really get a sense of Salamander's control, plus any villain who plans to use the power of volcanoes is hilariously brilliant. Patrick Troughton playing the Doctor pretending to be Salamander is different to when he's just playing Salamander. There is so much depth and thought to his performance, and it's just so much fun to watch.
Is that understood? Good. But I hope that works.
So do I.
I also just love the fact that it's never explained why they look the same, they just do. Like Nyssa in A Black Orchid or the Abbot in The Massacre.
He seems to be a public benefactor, quite a speaker too, and remarkably handsome. Didn't you think so, Jamie?
The Doctor and Salamander fighting together in the TARDIS, which is beautifully shot.
Welcome to the TARDIS. Thank you.
When they're both in frame, it's completely seamless. I don't think I'm alone in this reappraisal of this once lost classic, and I definitely recommend you watch it. The Ice Warriors make their triumphant return with excellent results. In the future, humanity relies on TMAT, a teleportation system, to move around space. When the connection between Earth and the Moon stops working, they must rely on old-fashioned rockets to reach the Moon. When the Doctor and friends arrive, they discover an old foe is waiting. The Ice Warriors proved to be a brilliant villain in the story. I feel like their debut story, The Ice Warriors, was incredibly dull. Whereas here, they really found their feet. I love the menacing point of view shots, the Ice Warriors walking around a park, and the weird but wonderful design of the Ice Lord. And you can't forget the crazy moment when the phone comes in and Wendy Padbury is clearly laughing, but as if they'd have time to reset that shot. There is just so much brilliance in it and so much fun. When I think of the Ice Warriors, I think of the Seeds of Death, which shows its lasting impression on me.
Stop!
You must be destroyed.
You'll need to be angry if you kill me. I'm a genius.
The Daleks believe if they can find out why humans beat the Daleks time and time again, it will make the Dalek race invincible, and the Doctor is compelled to help them. Starting in the 60s with a man who is out of his time zone, but he's only there to trap the Doctor.
What are you dragging me into?
An old Victorian house overrun with Daleks.
Doctor! Now do you understand?
Returning to Skaro after all these years to meet the Daleks in their final end.
No, not mine in here!
So many wonderful ideas. If this was the final time we ever saw the Daleks, as was the original intention of the story, this would have been a beautiful way to see them go. The Emperor of the Daleks has a brilliantly terrifying, beefy voice.
This is your Emperor! No, not mine in here!
There's so many brilliant yet terrifying moments for the Daleks in this serial, such as Dizzy Daleks.
Dizzy Doctor!
Why Must We Obey and the kill, kill, kill moments.
I obey without question!
Ask the Emperor!
The Emperor! Yes, ask the Emperor! Keep back!
Once again, like in Power of the Daleks, David Whittaker, the writer, adds a whole new dimension to the Daleks. They're intelligent, they're scheming, and they're one step ahead of the Doctor, and I don't think they've ever been written as intelligently ever since. David Whittaker is the definitive Dalek writer for me.
Why do you ask about Jamie?
He is the human being who is to be tested.
What do you mean? Tested how?
Silence! Obey the Daleks! You are in our power!
planet Telos, archaeologists are beginning to uncover the lost tombs of the Cybermen, but the Cybermen aren't quite as dead as they originally thought. This was my first ever Patrick Troughton story, and it's just brilliant. There's something about the myth of Egyptian mummies coming back from the tomb and mixing it with futuristic cybernetics. Something so ancient mixed with something so futuristic, it's just chilling. It has outstanding and lasting set design. The Cybermen emerging from their tombs is an amazing image.
And we've done exactly as you calculated, haven't we?
Now you belong to us.
I feel like the Patrick Troughton years have a lot of moments like this, and the word iconic can be used quite a lot, but you can't deny these are amazing visuals, especially on such a tight budget. Victoria's beautiful speech about losing her father.
It's only when I close my eyes, I can still see him standing there, before those horrible Dalek creatures came to the house. He was a very kind man. I shall never forget him.
The Doctor and Jamie holding hands.
Come on, Victoria.
Victoria putting a cybermat in her purse. From heartwarming to hilarious to terrifying. The story does all of these things so well, and it never feels jarring.
Our lives are different to anybody else's. That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
International Electromatics, a technology manufacturer, has been watched by UNIT for quite some time. People seem to enter the building.
Trouble is, some of them haven't come out.
After some investigation, it is clear they are in league with the Cybermen and plan to take over Earth using a hypnotic signal through IE products. I adore this story. It's the one that got me hooked on missing episodes. Cosgrove Hall did an amazing job animating it, that you didn't even mind if an episode was animated instead of live action.
Macra!
Kevin Stoney is back to play Tobias Vaughan, character equally insane as his previous role as Maverick Chen. He truly is the ultimate Doctor Who villain actor. The fact that he's in more episodes than the Cybermen themselves, and you don't mind, shows how brilliant his performance really was.
What do they get out of all this?
What they want and what they're going to get are two entirely different things.
Oh, you're a fool, Vaughn.
I adore when Zoe destroys the computer and laughs like a maniac. Having Isabel Watkins as a photographer adds a certain level of 60s that I wish existed more in the show. I love when she takes a photo of the Cybermen in the sewers, and it looks ridiculously fake. It kind of grounded the story as something you'd find in a UFO book, and it made the story feel more real because of it. That all these shaky photos that you see of UFOs actually are real somehow, and has some of the most iconic imagery of Doctor Who history, such as the Cybermen coming out of the sewer. It's also another great appearance by Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier, and is obvious why the production team asked him to stick around for the Third Doctor era. The Invasion truly is one of those stories that everyone seems to love, and rightfully so. If you haven't seen this one, I totally recommend it.
Becca, where are you?
Beneath a seemingly perfect colony in the far future sits a race of giant crabs who controls the colonists' every move. It is up to the Doctor and friends to stop the Macra from taking over, but how can they when the colonists insist that the Macra do not exist?
That was it! In the picture, that was the claw! You're in control!
Alongside the Daleks' master plan, this is my favourite Doctor Who story of all time. What is not to love? Giant crabs that are scary one second and hilarious the next. Brilliant music that's horrific yet so correct for this story. Ben succumbing to the Macra's influence.
Wasn't your fault you betrayed your friends.
The voices tell me what to do.
Voices may not be right, Ben.
It shows Jamie's fierce loyalty to the Doctor coming out for the first time.
Control knows what's best for us.
What's the matter with you, Ben? This doesn't sound like you at all.
The Doctor's causing trouble. I'm going to turn him in.
You don't know what you're doing, Ben. Get off!
The Doctor really is at his best in this story, playing the fool as he dismantles the society bit by bit.
Doctor, you have committed a crime.
A crime?
Jamie performing the Highland Fling in order to get out of a sticky situation.
Why do you call it the Highland Fling? Because we finished the dance by flinging ourselves out the door.
It's commentary on conformity and people being unaware of the powers that be.
He'll be just like the rest of us.
Why do you want everyone to be the same?
It's another great Doctor Who story that understands the balance between comedy and good drama.
Yes.
Ben, you keep me away.
Jamie,
It knows not to point and laugh at the Macra. It treats them like they're the biggest threat known in the universe, even though they're just a big bunch of crabs. It'd be so easy to make crab jokes, but they just don't. And this serious approach to this concept is really fun for all.
You hear that, Maida? Fun for all. All right. Have fun while you can, before they crawl all over you.
So, that's my top 6 Second Doctor stories. What's yours? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Doctor Who content.